Missionary or just looking for a funded vacation? Let's talk about it next on the Metal Pulpit. Hey, thanks for joining me. And yeah, that's the question at hand. Are you a missionary or are you just looking for a funded vacation? Let me explain this a little bit. Any pastor, any denomination, anywhere is going to get phone calls from missionaries. Some of them are very good and have a true heart for what they're doing. Some have been overseas for years. I have an aunt and uncle. My uncle is from the hometown that they serve in the Philippines. And they've been there 38 years and have a Bible college going and just they're knocking it out of the park. But then there are those that just want to basically live in the area they want to serve. They went online, they Googled the land, they went there on a vacation and they came back and they said, God has called us to this area. Now I've been to Belize a lot of times and quite honestly I would love to go back to do some mission work for a pastor friend of mine down there. But there's a moment where it's like, wow, that'd be awesome to live down here. But then you wake up and you realize, no, there's churches already doing things. And quite honestly, a lot of these places where missionaries go, there's already things going on. Let me explain. The reason for this talk is I got a newsletter the other day from a missionary, used to be a friend. Now we're an acquaintance because all of our conversations turned to, whenever we got together, can you support us? How much can you support us? Can you up your support? You know, all of that stuff. It gets annoying, and quite honestly, I don't want a friendship like that. That would be like me friending you, and all we talk about is Scentsy, okay, and how much you need to buy my candles and stuff like that. No, it's a horrible premise, a horrible foundation for a friendship. And so this person began talking about how yesterday, and the e-newsletter was talking about how big news this was. And they talked about how yesterday they were at a cafe and God ordained a meeting with another person. They said hi to them and gave them an invite to their program, and it was a God thing. Maybe it was, I don't know. But at the same time, they go on to say, pray for us, because in weeks to come, we'll be attending a church where we're going to pray about how we can fit into their congregation and start a ministry there. And on it goes. It's like, what are you doing? You just basically wanted to live there. Let's just face it. You fell in love with the culture, the people. We flagged it as a God thing, that God's calling to be a missionary there, when in fact, you know, a short-term missions trip would have been just fine. But instead, you make endless phone calls, on and on it goes, and you raise the funds, and after 3 years, or whatever the term may be, you're done. You come home, and that's it. Again, there are a lot of missionaries that make a real go of it. But I started thinking about it. A few years ago, I made a post on my Facebook that stated all of the drug problems in my city. I stated all the single moms in our city, the crime rate, everything, the homeless rate. And people were saying, wow, where are you going on your missions trip? And I said, this is the city I live in, okay? Quite honestly, we do not have to go very far in order to do missions work. Oh, I know it's romantic. I know it's a beautiful thing to go somewhere and send out letters and trust God and all of that stuff. But, you know, honestly, if you just went out your front door and started doing something, you would find intense missions work right in your own backyard. You don't have to go very far. Well, what about the question there, Pastor Bob, that my church doesn't do anything like that? They don't need to do anything like that for you to serve. Go start, do something. And sometimes you'll find that the church that you're a part of, once they find out what you're doing, they'll want to piggyback on top of that. Don't always say yes to that right away. But needless to say, when we talk about missions, are we talking about a true heart for that area where the long term is going to happen and all of that? Or are we talking about a short-term funded vacation because you love the culture, you love the people, and quite honestly, let's be honest, there's not a whole lot of mission work going on. If you can't start mission work in your own backyard, within your own family, etc., how in the world are you going to do it overseas? I realize this is a little bit of a rant, okay? But it's something to think about. This is why I turn down a lot of missionaries that call me wanting to speak, because I'm not impressed. Our church is knocking it out of the park with outreach, and quite honestly, if they came in and told what they did to our church, the members would start looking at each other like, we do this every week. It's a daily lifestyle for us. So think about that. Are you wanting to be a missionary or a long-term funded vacationer? Shoot me your comments, pastorbobadams@gmail.com. Look forward to hearing from you. Thanks. Bye.